6 fighters in our world tournament tonight. The main event was absolutely amazing. I think the right guy won as far as being busy and delivering the most strikes and everything. It was just a great main event, and then that's all we wanted. We've been talking about it all year. A lot of you guys have been here that we just want really exciting fights. We want fighters to come in and get it done. Liz absolutely was fantastic tonight. She's been great through 3 fights in the women's division, and then of course Alves, what a battle. I mean, Wetzel almost had him, late. I know he's battling a couple injuries. We don't have exactly what it is yet, but there's a finger injury, there's a potential knee injury, but he was able to get the job done and get it out for 5 rounds. So we're super excited. Obviously, as many of you know, I think it was 2 weeks ago we were asked about the Paul Hughes fight, and I was quoted as saying that we were going to make it. What I said was, we're going to make it when we're ready to make it, and we made it. And we knew we were going to make it. We're just going to do things on our terms and in our times, and we're changing up the game, and I think you guys are seeing that. So October 3rd, we're super excited. And I think tonight with the finish with Alfie Davis, it just sets up what could be just a dynamic next 6 months in that division with those 2 guys, and then potentially what Alfie Davis can do as the new #1 contender in that division. So super excited about tonight, super excited about next week with 3 more world titles on the line. So with all that being said, let's open up for questions.
When you look at what this night made, it was a short notice tournament winner, a veteran in Liz, and then Alfie on a huge betting upset. Is this exactly what the tournament was made to do?
It was. It's about coming and showing up. But then also it's about making a name for yourself. And one thing we said at the beginning of the year, whether it was the naysayers, the haters, the negative, we're not listening to that anymore. I don't care who's saying anything negative about us. We want to bring guys in, young guys, OGs. We had all of that, and you saw that tonight. You saw a young guy, you saw an OG, and then you saw somebody who literally took a fight on 24 hours notice in April and had the upset of the night, and then he ends up winning all 3 for the world tournament. So to me, we could not have asked for a better start to our world tournament. I think it's going to lay a great groundwork for what we're doing moving into 2026, and now there's going to be an obvious journey through our Champion Series and through the world tournament. So yes, to answer your question, it's exactly what it was made for.
Curious your thoughts. I mean, not that a decision needs to be made, but what Alfie Davis said, he wants to win the unanimous title and then put it on the line through the tournament. I mean, is that something that could be a discussion?
Mike, anything that is different than what's been done before is on the table. Because for us to be status quo, for us to do everything that everybody's ever done, why would we do that? Everything is changing. You've seen all the media stuff, you've seen all the media rights stuff. Everything's changing. So are we. And I think we have a lot of momentum. I think our fighters are showing up. When we meet with them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm telling you, the guy I felt the worst for tonight was Justin Wetzel. He walked in on Tuesday and Wednesday, and he had tears in his eyes 3 days ago. That's how much this means to him. And for a guy like myself, no matter where I've been or here now, I want guys and work with people that want it. You know what I mean? We're only here for a little bit of time. And so Wetzel won it, and you saw how devastated he was tonight. So I'm not saying that any of the rules will change, but damn, if somebody's willing to do it, we've got to talk about it. I mean, Dakota wants to fight the tournament next year, for God's sake. So anything's going to be on the table, and we'll see what happens.
Last one, you mentioned there's a busy 6 months ahead, but can you talk about how that makes the blueprint work perfectly? From the international leagues to this world tournament with 1 event left in these finals, you look at the long-term picture of where this company is going, and this year needed to happen to the split up.
So we had to reset. So I kind of described it, I think it's a line in the sand. That if you want to sit here and ask about 2024 before, I got no time for you. But if you want to talk about 2026 and afterwards, I think that we have not only with PFL Africa, which last week probably had the card of the night, or of the year rather. So that was awesome. And I think as the next 2 to 5 years, when we really start to get MENA and Australia and Africa and all the different regionals, kind of like we compare it to the Champions League that soccer has, and we can do it in MMA, and then we also have a Champion Series, so you've got the champions up here, you got the #1 contenders in the world tournament, you've got all of the different regionals that whoever wins out of there, that they move up, so all of a sudden you now have a very clear cut where everybody's going to go. We were very honest with the fighters this year. We said if you're successful and you're fun and you come in and you have bangers, why do you think Greg says it's an absolute bang? Because that's what we want. And that's why I'm so damn excited tonight. So now I think everybody, whether you're a fighter here or outside of this country, you know that here in the PFL now, if you're successful and you're excitable, we've got a place for you, and you can make more and more and more money.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coach,
Let's go.
when the announcement came that Coachman Bojangles was fighting Paul Hughes, you're the first person I thought, because we've literally talked about it.
We did.
And we had a conversation, let's let it build, maybe each guy gets another win, and let's build this up so it can be bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But now you pull the trigger, and it's obviously a fight that the fans want, so I'm curious, how did this happen so quickly when it seemed like the plan was to let the fire build a little?
Well, that wasn't the plan. When you and I talked, I said we could do that, or we'll announce it when we're ready to. That was my exact words, because I knew we were discussing it. And I don't work in fighter ops, I don't work in matchmaking, but I'm obviously privy to the information. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you if it's at the 20-yard line or the 10-yard line. That's not what my job is, and it's not what we're here to do. We're here to tell you when it's made. And both fighters wanted it, and we felt like the fight now in October was the right fight to make, because we've got to establish our champions heading into 2026. So I believe that the consensus was, let's figure out who the best guy is between those two, and then whoever loses, we can figure out what their journey is going to be next year. And so that if we put them into a separate one in October and then they fight in February, then we're going to be 4 months behind, if that makes sense. So that's why we pulled the trigger.
I know it was announced that Archie's going to be fighting on that card as well.
Yeah, JJ.
He fought in a #1 contender fight, at least it was presented that way. How does he feel about this? I don't know if anyone has talked to him. I mean, he's happy, obviously, to fight on the same card.
Yeah.
If something happens, maybe he steps in, but what was his reaction to it?
Haven't heard from him, haven't talked to him. To be honest with you, we've been focused on this and next week, and that's kind of how we have to do it. You know, the guys that are making the fights, they're doing the fights, we react to them, we give it to you. But I'm sure he's excited. We'll find out. We still have, what, 7 weeks until that fight's going to make. So we've got to really give the attention to the last 3 divisions in a world tournament, and then we can focus on October 3rd. But I'm sure he's excited because, listen, that's a big fight. You know, if he can beat JJ, then who knows what his next fight's going to be. That's what we want. We do not want to have these guys coming out and fighting 3, 4, 5 times just to get to that next fight. We want the best fights that we can make at the right time when it makes sense. So that fight made sense. That's going to be a great one on that card.
Agreed. And last thing for me is another great fight we can make. Liz Carmouche with one of the craziest knockouts of the year.
Yeah.
Dakota Ditcheva, big rising star. It seems like their paths have aligned for a while, and it seems like the perfect time to maybe make that fight. So I'm sure, being in the position you're in, being the hype guy, this one's probably scratching your itch, is it not?
Oh man, can I call myself that? I like that. The hype guy, I'll take that. I think with Liz, and we got to give her flowers. When I sat down with her in April before this whole tournament started, she said, not only do I want to win this because I'm obviously not 25 anymore, she says, I have some bucket list finishes that I want to have. And when you can have somebody who looks at it that way and just doesn't say, I want to win $500,000, but there's a way I want to do it. She wanted to have a knockout. Tonight, did you see that slow-mo? It was like, bam, awesome, veins, the whole 9 yards. So that was awesome. Now, it all depends on how healthy Dakota is. And we don't know that right now, how healthy the hand is. I'm sure once we get the word, we can convey it to you. But, I mean, I think Liz's style with Dakota's style, that'd be a banger. And I think we'd all like to see that. So, she's the #1 contender. That's what we've announced. So Liz is the #1 contender for that belt. We just have to figure out when that can happen. But it seems like a pretty good matchup to me. So as soon as we can, we'll tell you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How's it going?
Real good, real good. First of all, I want to talk about Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
It was absolutely stunning out there, loud.
Amazing.
What'd you think of the gate, the house, the noise? Can Charlotte be back?
Hell yes, and I love arenas like these because, you know, with my background, we used to do house shows called live events in arenas like this, and then if you're doing Raw or SmackDown, then you go downtown. But for the PFL and the level that we're at, when we, you know, that 4,000 to 5,000 range that we're really proud of, we've had some really good crowds this year. And I think it's also the communities we're coming into are seeing on ESPN how good the cards have been, and that's how it works. Is you start to get to momentum, and then you got people in Charlotte saying, man, I got to go check this out. Tonight was awesome. It was a great crowd, great house. They were hot. They were rooting for one guy or the other, you know, so I got to give them a lot of credit. Also, they supported us great all week. You know, we were out at the baseball game, we were all over radio and TV, and that's a big part of what we have to do as well. And the community has to give it back to us, and they did big time.
Right. Second fight of the night, Chris Nixon, young welterweight, was in PFL, got away, came back, won. St. Louis was on fire, very organic. I know you know about rivalries and stuff. Bad Gene's teammate. Do you think something in the future, 2026, some kind of mix-in of Bad Gene in the future?
Well, we have a very clear road to these guys. Thad Gene is a guy, it's no secret that we want to hitch our wagon to. He's the right guy. He's a very, very good young man. I love him to death. He really dug deep, and you got to have those performances to get to that next level in combat sports. I think Chris has a long way to go before he gets to that, because the reason he wasn't in the tournament is because, like you said, he went away and then came back. So he looked great tonight, and if he can put his name in to be in the tournament next year, and then if he wins the tournament, that's the thing you have to understand, is that we're not going to do it the way everybody's done it before. You've got to earn your spot. And that Gene earned his spot. He came in, he won 3 times, and he won the belt. That's earning your spot. We're not going to hand anybody anything anymore. That's not going to happen. And you ask any of these fighters, they'll tell you they're okay with that. They want that. And I think it's cool.
Talking about 2026. ESPN Plus, there was another MMA promotion, and you guys both under one umbrella. Now they're not going to be.
You can say it, UFC. Go ahead.
The UFC.
It's all right. It's no secret.
I would love just your take on how big you think 2026 is for the PFL, especially under this ESPN